superstitions. At what time point did the dark-skinned peoples decide or were forced into slavery? What lack of dark skin ability allowed the invaders to dominate and coerce supplication and obedience? Still, on the ground where the ancestors danced, they live in fear, slashing and burning anything they can hate. As the neo-colonials arise, will they carry the disease back to the homeland as the white man did? Or will there ever be another yellow great mother like Victoria or Mary, whose bones are buried with all the other old gods? Now that the dark skins are joined by the whites in the reeling, destructive dance of negation, we, children of slave or slave masters, learn sad fact. I need to work on this. That corruption has destroyed us all. Now that puts color in your day.
You've been reading the news again.
What is the title? I don't.
Yeah,
maybe I missed it. But what is it?
Well, it's a Scottish word, and it has to do with superstition and religion. It seems that if you walked around the church building to the left instead of to the right, the fairies would get you. So it's when the sun comes up in the other direction.
They had a very exciting life, didn't they?
Basically, it means
So is it
counterclockwise.
Fairies and all.
This is when left-handedness was punishable by death.
Yeah,
Is it an adjective? Or is it a noun?
It's a noun.
yeah, it's like clockwise and counterclockwise.
We don't think much along those lines. Just it's when things don't work the way they've always worked. It's a lot of different spellings.
Okay.
Is it French?
Scottish. But there is
Page 1 and 2.
But there's still going to be a.
There. Yeah.
And I'm going to take
there's
my
two
word.
sheets.
Everybody's
Yes, they take two and I took three. Oh, crap.
Had trouble getting this thing here because my computer stopped.
Did you fry your computer?
Then my printer stopped. So I had to come in here and it's called What's in a Name. It never occurred to me to look at my birth certificate until I went to college. Mary Ann Boone was my name. Why question it? But I decided to take a peek just to make sure. Much to my dismay, my birth certificate said only Ann. I called my mother sobbing, "My name has been stolen. How could that happen?" She nonchalantly explained as I grew older, adding an E seemed more symmetrical and pleasing to the eye. I didn't think you would mind. Names began to proliferate. All the neighbors called me sister. My last year of high school, my calculus teacher dubbed me Mab. The rest of my class and my family adopted it as well. My freshman year in college, I discovered that Mab was queen of the fairies in Romeo and Juliet. Despite the razzing I received, I grew to like my new names, impertinence, and the recognition I received from my political ambitions. My junior year, I was chosen as one of the 7 deadly sins for the architect's ball and danced to the music of Le Bourgeois Gentilhomme in a costume pulled on roller skates. The most imaginative name came as a result of a retreat in Philadelphia where Gladys the clown emerged, guaranteed to guard against grotesqueness. She delighted many children, especially those belonging to me, and startled many adults with her antics. Grandma Mab became the best name of all. And I had to call my granddaughter at 10 o'clock last night to check my French because I couldn't remember whether I was spelling bourgeois right. So it's been a long.
How old is your granddaughter?
23.
Oh, wow.
And she's very good at languages. So she just right away said, "Here it is."
Wow.
You didn't have to tell us. I was so impressed with your pronunciation. Though. I was like, wow, I wouldn't have gotten that right.
One time in my life I could speak French fairly well, but I haven't done that in a while.
I don't know.
Are you
I only
from
have
the lineage of Daniel Dean?
Well, that's a debatable thing. We always thought so, but we have learned from going on Ancestry.com that actually we are German.
Oh,
And we're finding out a lot about the family, but we grieved for a while because we thought that it was the real Daniel Boone who shot a bear when he was only 3, but life goes on. So, I was going to come with illustrations for this.
Oh, that would have been fun.
But I'll bring them next week because I have 2 of my costumes.
Oh,
Mary Ann, come in your costume.
Yeah, I can come in one of the costumes and bring the other.
On the roller skates, don't forget the roller.
That I can't do anymore. And I don't even have that.
Jerry does that also. The 2 of you could.
We could roller skate together.
Yeah.
Those days are
All
gone.
the
Yeah,
way
me
down.
too. Me too.
Those days
I
are gone.
can't.
I might break something,
Yeah, me too.
but I
I would.
roller skating.
Down
feet.
Court Street. That's
Yeah.
She had not
Mary.
even included the Mary.
Yeah.
So that was just a,
Let's go to Robin.
Instead of a title, what's in a name? Why not? Who am I?
over the years, but this one just really took me.
Oh,
It's wonderful. So,
This is a special.
so one is the,
so this is an artistic quilt program, and it's at the Dairy Barn in Athens, and it's a
Milk.
wonderful thing to go to.
I'll need one.
So,
I will.
Ashley,
I'll
if you would
take one.
like to go.
Thank you.
Okay, quilt national.
They were slow.
Okay. Quilts that splash, quilts that speak, gentle and brash. Colors with fences, colors unleashed, opera colors. Applique or collage edges spray. Stitching, free dancing, or marching. Muslin lace, shadow trees, maps to trace. Shimmer sun on the earth, layered shades. Purples, blues, easy listening, flower hues. Stitching tracks of comets or snails. Gator teeth, quirky birds, sweet dog sleep. Clustered flock, sky lit up, red wings talk. Seaweed tails on the beach, story shells, stitching in fantasy patterns. With blue hair, skyscraper anywhere, dry hot earth, cracking crust, saffron. Mumbai roofs, hopes, dreams, shield the truth. Stitching uncertain, straight or meander. Beach towel hues, boombox, sand in your shoes. Yellow, blast, red alert, leaves on fire. Ruby lines, board game shapes, Dr. Seuss. Stitching bright ladders to the sky or falling. Love not war, hippie words, what's in store. Hold your breath, Ferguson, cancer, more. A child's play, uplifting Grandma's way, stitching strong thread to mend our troubles.
Yeah.
Are you gonna give that to the exhibit?
That's
You
what
should. You should.
No, I just went with another friend that had never gone, but it just took me,
It was different this year. They were mostly hanging, where some years they're
Yeah.
like statues. These were almost all, except for that
Yeah.
one vase, and they were all hanging, although they were totally creative and different.
Yeah.
But they were something that you could.
they were just fabulous
Yeah.
this year.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just
They
blew
were-
me away. So go if you haven't gone.
Yeah.
I'm going again.
Yeah.
Maybe twice.
I think they did some of the awards, like the judges' awards are already done, and you never agree with it.
In the
Judging
sixth stanza, easy listening, am I missing something? I don't know.
Just the sense of,
It's really neat. I like it.
Yeah, it's a nice arrangement.
Technique.
I think that was the thing that impressed me the most. I mean, I just was upside down and backwards, constantly looking at
Yeah,
where
yeah,
the stitches
yeah.
went
Yeah,
and how
close.
differently they were.
Yeah.
And they were perfect, or they were broken, or they were frazzled, or they were sparkling.
Yeah,
I mean, the stitching of it
Yeah.
was just like,
you could see something. with the-
yeah, yeah.
You could read those longer lines all together and almost get a different poem. Good. Even though it turned out really different.
I think
Whenever
many
you
of
want
us
to.
do with the suggestions that people give us. We don't take them home and work with them or ignore them or whatever. But we've never done it
Like a rewrite
in,
for everybody.
yeah. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth stanza, I don't understand, no acception.
Just to rhyme with selection, rejection, perfection, connection. But there's no such word.
Well, that's why I wondered, why didn't you use no exception? Accept.
I do too.
Because I
think it's
was
great.
working on the word accept.
Well, I know, but, well, and also, my editorial bent always gets the better of me. 1, 2, 3, fourth stanza, third line, it should be 1 apostrophe S.
Ah, yes,
One word.
yes.
How did I miss that?
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Do you say joy? Exactly.
Then you have to make up a
Exactly.
definition.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
But that's okay.
Well, that had sort of a clear.
That would be fun.
Right. Treasure.
Sure.
Everybody has one, there may be one extra.
You did very well.
Everyone has?
Which?
Or are we now 15?
We got one extra.
Right,
Nan
we
get
are,
the Nan
we are 14.
Did Nan get one?
Yeah, looks like it is.
This,
Do you guys have copies of yours, Joy
this first,
and Milton? Because I missed yours.
The swerve.
I'll ask again.
okay, all people at peace is a response to what we've been hearing a lot about lately of robots and so forth, and I just picked this book off the shelf as I walked in today. There's been a lot of discussion on the radio, TV, and in books about the rise of the robot. Back on the shelf. All people at peace. We humans are energized by innovation. We learned fire. We chipped rocks. Tools were the objectives of most creation. We made spears. Later, we made clocks. We made engines larger and more complex. Digging coal to burn, we had steam. If one country did another vex, from every factory, more lethal weapons would stream. Then the machines could do numbers. They became the brain of the workplace. like a stumbling giant who slowly lumbers, the people's thinking could not keep pace. The machines soon were called robots, and they stood in the place of fumbling humans so easily annoyed. Materials such as iron or exotic species of wood were replaced with the transistor, capacitor, and solenoid. People easily distracted got in the way. They were not needed, ineffective, often sick or forlorn. With time, the legislators could say humans are interfering pests and should no longer be born. The robots who worked for the legislators became impatient. All decisions were big bucks based. They took over the chair and gavelled the debaters. Humans were bypassed and soon were replaced. The last humans sat at the retirement home. They were fed and entertained by robots. They didn't have to use brain, muscles, or bone. They were eased from life in large, happy lots. The last lot was buried after 2.5 decades. None were left angry or worried. The robots celebrated with engineered parades.
I like solenoid and annoyed.
There's a whole little thing about that. If you have a solenoid and you add a noid, and you get a paranoid.
Have you ever read the book, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? That's what this reminds me of. And that was when I was in college. I read that book over and over again.
Really?
And it's still very pertinent. What's going on today?
Dream of electric sheets?
Sheep.
Sheep. Oh, I see.
Counting the sheep.
Well, I think we ought to be properly worried, and there doesn't seem to be any national or international concern about all these jobs being lost.
Well,
yeah.
Technology and the threat of a jobless future. I mean, that's really what we should be worried about, right? Not total replacement.
Yeah.
I wonder if the robot makers ever think that someone will make a robot to replace the robot makers.
Right, why not?
The last estimate I
was one of the Ford sons, and Henry Ford III or fourth or whatever it was said to Walter Reuther, as he was pointing out the robots building the cars, he said, how are you going to get these robots to pay the union dues? and Reuther looked at him and said, how are you going to get those to buy your cars?
Yes, right.
And I think that's true. I think we're going down a very treacherous slope here.
Yes.
Well, that's something that Edsel's father.
Do you feel it going? Names of people. I finally remembered Kundera. Names of plants. Bergamot escaped me time after time. They all go into hiding in the gray shadows. What's the word for, it's a frequent puzzle as verbal facility falters. I want to cite the field study of racial attitudes done in 1949. What is the citation? I pause and pause some more until I must skip and go on. It's a long process beginning midway in life. There was learning and adding. Montesquieu, Asclepius, Eddie Collins, is that the poet or the third baseman? I picked up the dictionary, but it slipped from my grasp and I dropped it.
Oh, bless you. I'm not the only one who's doing that. Oh, God.
And then did you kick it across the
Well, my long time now saying is I either forget it or drop it, one or the other.
I love this. Yeah. This is great. I'm going to hang this on my wall.
Yeah.
So I'll remember.
Where is the
It's not
t-shirt?
just you. It's not just you.
I think if you can make fun of it, you still got it.
Well, does anyone feel it going? Doesn't everybody feel it going? It's one of the reasons I quit teaching early, because I used to have all this stuff at hand, and when I started losing it, I said, I don't want to be some old parrot piping off yellow pages of notes and so on, you know. And
It's not good enough to remember it eventually when you're in front of a class. So
yeah, to
true.
begin with, when you're in the sciences, you learn mountains of studies, you know, like date and name and date and detail and so forth. But when you have to look everything up and you can't remember it and so on, it becomes depressing. Yeah.
I think it is the third baseman.
Actually, I looked it up. It's the second baseman. He later became a general manager and owner. 1907 to 1930 with the White Sox, I think it was. He was the second baseman.
I played that long?
Yeah. Yeah, he played up into his 40s.
Wow.
So you were talking about Billy Collins versus
Yeah,
Eddie Collins.
right.
No, no.
Second baseman.
If you get college right, but the rest of it's
Yeah.
just too much.
I don't have enough copies, because we've got some people who didn't say they were coming who came. So I'll let you fight over who shares with whom.
Well, I can read over.
You can read with a Patricia.
I'll read with this Patricia, because
Oh, that's nice.
that Patricia will be busy reading, like you last time. Busy reading.
That's nice.
Well, we'll put it down so I can see it easier, okay?
Oh, we don't have it. We're sharing. Okay.
I have to say, Sven, these are really happy up poems from you.
Another upbeat.
The times they are changing, to get to my point.
Tune in next time.
The only preparatory words I have about this, the first one, my
She's got one.
online group, the Pentapoets, and we periodically come up
Here's an
with,
extra.
each one of us gives a word, and then we take those 5 words and we have to use them in a poem.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, well, sometimes you think, sometimes I can't use these damn words in the same.
We've done that,
Yeah.
my daughters and I, yeah.
So that's why we
It's
have,
fun.
why it's
Made a
5
book out
words.
of it.
Yeah, 5 words, August. As in a dream, I listened to the jackdaws quarreling with children over stale bread. Fresh bread is a dream of the past. Reality stares us in the face, mirrors all our misgivings. There seems to be little, if any, hope.
So
It screeches to a halt with this poem.
Yeah, that's sad.
So what's the 5
what were the
words?
5? Yeah.
Dream,
Jackdaw.
no.
Oh.
Let's see.
Reality?
Dream,
Bread.
reality, mirrors.
Bread.
That's what,
No, bread's in there a lot, but it's not, what are they? No, what are the 5?
Mirrors.
Anyway, they're all in there.
Misgivings.
No, I
Hope.
dream.
No hope.
See,
I'll let you know.
If you had the 5 words there, we could,
yeah.
you know.
You'd see how you,
use.
and they're not all nouns.
No,
So they
but
could be
they,
verbs.
often they're words that can be either a noun or a verb or an adjective or whatever. I know it's a dream.
Yeah, Patricia,
Children.
this reminded me of the Hunger Games.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well, I haven't seen or read The Hunger Games, so.
That's
A
it.
place without hope.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I find the word jackdaws just sort of appealed to
It's a
me.
good word.
But I can't remember what 5 words, they're all in there. I can't remember what they were. I know.
So you use dream twice.
Mirrors and reality. Dream, mirrors, reality. Anyway, another one, how it works. If I dash off a poem of a morning, I would not have you assume it is done without thought, deliberation, or art. It is the distillation of serious study of the poetic arts, the restrictions and acknowledgement of the rules, which I may choose to adhere to or to break. It's not a work of happenstance.
When did you write that?
last night.
Before or after you read my email?
After.
I don't think anybody does them Tuesday morning.
Oh,
No,
a lot of
no.
people do.
Yes,
Often I do.
yes,
Really?
Yeah.
yes. That's why you didn't get my email?
Oh, I did, but I thought,
Okay.
how could anybody
They do.
do one?
That's what I'm amazed. It's like, you know, I work on them so hard.
I mean,
Sometimes it's
and-
desperation. You haven't done anything. God, it's Tuesday
If
morning.
you're sure.
Dan's done them.
Felix often does it.
We're a waterfall. We'd never die of thirst. If you were an elephant and I were a mouse, I'd have to stay out of your path. If you were a skunk and I were an otter, I'd ask you to take a bath. Great.
Most otters do,
What is going on?
Diamond. There once was a penguin named Diamond who dwelt on an African island. No icebergs for him. He liked a warm swim to get to his cod and his salmon.
Very cool.
Now, what inspired that, Kathy?
Huh?
What inspired that?
I don't know.
You haven't done a limerick in a long time.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
Speaking of critters, we saw a fisher yesterday crossing the road.
Okay,
I
yeah.
mean, you can usually get a word, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, but the rhymes, and I didn't really mean to have it like A, B, C, A, but one of the lines turned out that way, and then I was stuck.
Nah, you have poetic license. You can do whatever you like.
So I don't know what the name of
Well,
A,
not if
B,
she's
C.
trying to follow a form. Then she doesn't have the license.
Yeah, well,
What was your goal?
I was determined to do a rhyming poem because of some of the things that were said at the seminar we went to up in wherever it was, and then I got this book because I couldn't. The Fry was checked out, the good one,
Oh,
so I got
you-
this one.
You want to borrow mine? I can.
Maybe I should buy it, but I went to the book center, which is closing. Somebody should write a poem about the book
Aw.
center, and they didn't have it. I was going to buy it, but they didn't. And then they said we can't take special orders. We're closing in 3 weeks.
Wow.
So, the Athens books, the used bookstore, not downtown. The one that Brennan used to own. It's moved around. And
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The one next to
I missed
the
a lot.
original Episcopal
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
What was originally where?
Well, that church next to it used to be the Episcopal church.
Well, it used to be
Yeah,
one of the
corner.
malls.
There's a little professor, they do good.
Yeah, but the used, it's the used books.
Yeah.
And Amazon, I mean, you can't browse really on Amazon. I mean, kind of, but it's not the same as pulling books off a shelf and looking at the jackets and then.
Right.
And
so-
in Chinese culture, does the woman change her name to that of the man? Would it be Chen Bao?
Actually, they don't. They don't.
Yeah.
They keep the name.
I
Yeah.
don't know, was that pre-Mao?
But it'd be
Less
interesting.
districting because you have such a good topic, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prose.
Well,
So you might have
was
a short story here.
99 years, I left out a lot.
Well,
So long.
Sure. You can't cover.
So, and then she was already pretty old by the time that happened. So she never learned Mandarin, and so there was only one little radio station that was all in the Taiwanese dialect. But there, probably now there isn't anybody left that only speaks the dialect.
So that was constraining her like her foot. In
Yeah.
that sense, I mean, just.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
That
can't
she
even imagine
couldn't
that.
really talk to. So the son, the eldest son's wife, they always live in the same house, and so the eldest son's wife took care of the mom, and so the eldest son's wife had to learn the Taiwanese dialect
Wow.
to talk to her.
Hmm.
Because she was, that's the way it is. So they say never marry an older son, the eldest son,
Oh.
or you will be the
Isn't
servant
that
of the
something?
mother-in-law.
Oh, my God.
Ashley, I think you have enough copies
Yeah,
to
I'm
go
sorry.
around.
I agree.
I think we had 14 or 15 copies. Everybody?
We got it.
Everybody has one. Okay, good.
People like to think that their mind is wise, that their thoughts are appreciated more than a dime. They struggle for power, for dominance, and others' pride, but they never look twice at their lives and see what they did wrong. People like to think that their mind is wise, but they never even glanced at the tree in the drive, until one day. They sit on the deck, watching the birds feed, wondering why they never notice the blue jays scream. They admire the leaves that surround the yard, and look at the branches, the twigs they are. They sit in the deck at peace with the world, listening to life's music and stories untold, thinking deep thoughts that aren't deep at all, though one might like to imagine.
Oh, very good. Thinking deep thoughts aren't deep at all.
Now, what grade are you in?
I'm going into ninth.
Very good.
Excellent.
Stick
poem.
with the poetry writing.
Absolutely.
That's really.
Let me ask, what made
younger daughter?
what inspired this poem?
Nothing
She's
really. I just
the younger child in
started
her
writing.
family.
I'm sorry,
Nothing really?
we didn't hear your answer.
Yeah.
nothing really inspired me to write it. I just started writing. It just came.
Well, she's watched these old folks.
No, she has read poems, and she had a class. What grade was it? Where
6th.
in 6th grade English, they had an exercise in doing poems to a certain form. She has the good fortune of going to a very good school in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania. It's an outstanding school system.
Okay.
And
I
Now,
like
Ashley, I want to ask, what made you not rhyme your poem?
I tried to do a little bit of a rhyme, but I didn't really want to do too much because I'm not really a big fan of like writing rhyming poems because it's just like you have to not put your exact thoughts on the paper.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You've got it just
It's a
right.
challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like this, people like to think that their mind is wise, but they never even glanced at the tree in the drive.
That's almost, whatever the word for that rhyme is, like the
Slant
vowel,
rhyme?
vowel signs,
Slant
vowel
Yeah.
music.
Well, I also liked the way that you didn't just stick with the stanzas and you had the single,
Yeah.
because they had a lot of power.
Yeah.
That's what you did, kind of, in your.
I guess in some way,
your
yeah, I
quote.
like that. I like that you just like
No, it stands out.
throw something different.
I
in.
appreciate the thought behind it, that we need to look at ourselves as much as we need to look at things around us. And that we sometimes think we're very deep, but we're pretty shallow, most of us, yeah.
Would the Lord the gift be us?
Maybe you could add a R at the very
Thank you, Ash.
Yeah, that was
Yes,
beautiful.
thank
actually.
you so
you.
much.
You know, that one might like to imagine
You've got multiple pages.
Next time you come to visit.
One thing you didn't do in the poem, one thing you didn't do on the poem was ever follow up on the 3 words until one day.
Right.
They don't have.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be rolling in ours because they don't have.
And I like the way that you corrected yourself, right below that. They sit on the deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a typo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're right. On. Yep.
Okay, Ruth?
Are you pleased with it?
Yeah.
We are.
Did it take you a long time, longer than you thought? You
Yeah.
block out a certain amount of time.
Well, she arrived last Wednesday, was it?
Wednesday.
And we said, we've got poetry next week. You're going to have to give us a poem. She's been at this meeting in the past, prior visits to town, but she's never
What?
participated.
How old were you then?
Younger than she is now.
12, I think. 12,
And now you're
14.
14. Okay.
She and her brother take
She's
turns
the one that
spending
liked
parts of the
basketball.
summer with us.
There's supposed to be. Are there 2? Oh, there should be 2. The short is it?
2?
There's a short one and a long one.
Were they going around together? They at the back?
Here's
Are
turn,
there 2 pages?
turn the whipping boy.
Whose turn the whipping boy
I
and
only
in
got
praise
one.
of the brain?
Okay.
Don't have anything about brains.
No, but
Yeah.
Oh,
that's the part you wouldn't let go of.
I got no
That,
brain.
maybe that's your original.
Insisting she had another.
No brain.
I didn't see that on the back.
Yeah, that's, thank you.
Yeah.
The brain is coming my way.
I want some of that.
Yeah.
Don't laugh.
Winter shoes.
A brain for you. A brain for me.
Know where that should go.
I think I'm going to start bringing a stapler with me. Staple your pages.
Or write them so it's front and back.
Yes.
Okay,
That's good. Just go bing and then.
Yes, yes.
I want to tell you that the Whose Turn the Whipping Boy was originally two thin blue and white lines. No, two thin blue lines. And I've already presented this poem to the group, but I revised it.
Revoking
Freudian
And
slip.
it's interesting because I shared it with a friend who is not in this class, and the comment was it was didactic. In other words, it was too telling. You know, like this is too many facts. You know, it wasn't poem enough, I guess. So I tried to make it into a bit of a poem here, and it ended up being a completely different thing, I think. Whose Turn the Whipping Boy? Israelis and Palestinians, cousins, once full of mutual respect, live on the same sacred soil, the Holy Land, oh irony of ironies. Today, with every American complicit, tax dollars feed the
That's not true.
That's
Every American policy is not true. But
tax
carry on.
dollars feed the insatiable Israeli war machine, and you do pay taxes. So reducing their own kinfolk to a slow but steady genocide, as if we'd all learned nothing. Now Palestinians deemed the same subhuman as Israelis once were, by turn, not so long ago. Forced into cage camps, their water stolen, hired as laborers to eat dirt on their own family lands from generations back. Put through demeaning roadblocks, life so reduced, they would want nothing but to leave. Oh, if they could. Bombed relentlessly, the lucky killed quickly, homes demolished in front of them, men stripped down to underwear, their hands shackled behind their backs. Here's to these future terrorists. We've seen this play before, but it still lacks a decent ending war, the kind that makes it not come back anymore.
Oh, that's a happy one.
Yeah, well, as a poem, it worked better than the first one that I had written, so.
I think your second line is untrue.
well, tolerance. Yeah.
They actually did, according to.
Yeah, I don't think you could cite me a time.
Oh, no, I would disagree with you completely. There was a time, and there is still now, even among many Israelis and Palestinians. But yeah, in the beginning, it was not instant animosity. They lived side by side with each other quite amicably.
I think you should send this to Netanyahu.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Or persons
Yeah.
in Congress.
Okay, so
Yeah,
the
right.
brain. You know, Sven, when you read your brain thing, your poem, I was thinking, oh my God, did we all watch the same PBS program? In praise of the brain. The brain is such a and this one I did try to rhyme on. I was not happy. But in praise of the brain is such a marvelous plastic thing, not the done deal we were taught, like a baby girl's number of eggs given at birth, her full lot. Not so this transmogrifying organ, the brain. It's got highway crews to build new pathways when veins get blocked as they will. Even the artist, it creates new mazes. A stroke can stop a body in mid-thought, yet with quick help, medicine, therapy, and time, new roads, roundabouts, and ramps get built. People walk again, they talk again, it's sublime. Yet how the brain functions day to day can be a puzzle. Peak performance appears to be tied to the gut. What we eat makes a difference, they say, if we don't want to end up just feeling nuts. We laugh at our blankness on entering a room, wishing we remembered why we went. But some thinks it's old age, but in fact it could be our no good bacteria up our vent. Yet as marvelous as the brain can be, it can't take too much of a beating. As any long-time football player knows, the quality of life in a damaged head is fleeting. Even knowing this, we want our team to win. Never mind the sacrifice, just make the score. There's so much money and passion in it, we'd rather ignore the science more. While what we learn astounds, contradictions and mysteries abound, the brain is by far not the all of us, our guiding heart, our spirit, neither technically found. Wisely know, without our head, we're dead.
No technical heart. I was reading an article about the brain today, a science report where they have decided that our brain uses up 20% of the calories that we have available, and because all these spikes are costly in terms of calories. And so the brain is not all ready to spike, it works in parts. And so there's a very complex, and I guess the spirit of the article is sort of a well-designed way of rationing the calories across the brain. So when we talk about we only use 10% of our brain, that's not true at all, but there are parts of the brain that are working and other parts that are not drawing on calories, or energy.
Wow.
Anyway,
Ruth, because I'm so conscious now of rhyming, because in such agony. So in the second stanza, couldn't you just say, ever the artist, it creates a new maze, and that would be pathways. It would make a solid rhyme. I learned that term from this book. And then in the...
I did have that originally, and then I changed it.
Because since the others all have the solid rhymes, and it wouldn't be so, it wouldn't change it too much. And then 1, 2, 3. In the fourth, then you could say, we don't want to end up feeling, I don't know, you'd probably have to change the wording a little bit, like a nut, so that nut and gut would be solid rhymes. Because all the others went, vent, taught, law. Well,
yeah, I know. I guess I'm not that interested.
Or maybe you could say guts, and then you could keep nuts.
To our,
like I said,
our guts.
I was rhyming under stress. I don't like to rhyme unless it comes naturally and it fits the message that I'm creating. So when I get into these kinds of details of gut versus nuts, I think good enough.
I think it's a
That was
sound
very
thing.
good.
You think
I think if you just aren't thinking about
when you
rhyme,
read
you're
it.
thinking about sound, and so even if you just get the same vowels or when you're put, a lot of the time it gives you that sound. I don't think you.
Yeah.
I shoot myself. I couldn't possibly do it perfectly like that.
They said you're supposed to read it, and I never do that, but that you should read it, not just write it. And if you read it, then you're conscious of the rhyming more.
I've done quite a few villanelles, which of course are highly restrictive. And I just finished one but decided it would be too much for today, so maybe next time. But there it's rhyme, 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 lines repeating, and iambic pentameter strictly, and stuff like that.
Well, I got into this, and it's like a lot of things, a topic that you've got a lot of things you could mention and bring up, and I realized we could write a whole poem about this whole football disaster.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a megalithic business and life. Yeah. And yet we're no better than the Romans watching the gladiators kill. Yeah.
Terrible.
Follow the money.
There are two.
There should be an exact
Is-
Oh, there are
number.
two pages?
No, there's just one page.
One page.
I was saying there's two pages stuck and I couldn't get
Oh.
it
This is
apart.
nothing.
So I figured I'd let
And
him.
where's the pages? Does anybody
Maybe-
have one?
maybe they're
not two.
There is one page.
Oh, no,
Because mine
two
only has
stuck
one
together.
side, and
Actually, you have very thick paper.
Okay.
Is it only one?
Cut down the trees myself.
There's not one separate.
Okay.
Must be a
Okay.
Not used to paper being so thick.
It's nowhere.
The poem is nowhere. Where are you going? He asked. Nowhere, she said. Can I go with you? Sure, come along. They are on a quest to know where and how one can truly see. How will one know? How will we know we are there? He asked. Where? She responded. Wherever, he said. She smiled. Wanting an answer you'll never see, she said, being the question you will. And so they left. There was no map. They just walked. Nothing was said and much was learned. All paths are the same for those who seek. Every direction holds the truth. In simply letting go, emptying, everyone finds the way. After being on the journey for a while, she stopped and said, "So we are now here." Silence. He looked around. "But this is nowhere," he said. And then he paused, looking at his grandmother, and smiled. They each knew. "I think you see now," she said, "and hear, and know where." After a long pause, they both laughed together. The joy was palpable, the boy touched.
Wow.
Nice. Nice little.
I love this.
I really like that.
It's really
Nowhere
different
and
for you.
no
Thank you.
where.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody, it was being read.
And it's now here.
Wherever you are, you're there.
Yeah, be here now.
So you capitalize to make a point, like I think you see in the next to the last stanza.
I think you see now.
Now.
And here.
So you wanted to do that to make a point.
Yeah, I wanted to make a point that nowhere is now here.
Just like way and truth. I mean, truth and way. I could
Tom, when you said that you killed a tree or something, that you said about it.
Well, no, this is recycled paper. That's why it's a little thicker. 100% recycled paper comes out thicker, that's all.
I've just been editing paper about Buddhism in politics in Thailand. And the Buddhist monks did a thing where, because they were deforesting Thailand severely for cash crops and such. So the monks ordained trees and put the yellow robes around them so that anyone cutting down a tree was playing with his own karma, because he may very well come back and smack him. And I thought it was really fun. Sort of got
And for me regarding my diet and exercise for my diabetes and spending time with me as a friend. I love her very much, Bonnie. I love Mary's empathy for others, Andy. I'm grateful for how she helped me with my son's school and graduation, and for the support she has given me during my health struggles, Chuck. She is kind-hearted. She has a heart of gold. She will take off her shirt for anyone. David. And I'm wondering about that one.
Yeah, we need to have that be revoked.
Right. But I did not edit what he said. I just wrote it down. I appreciate all of what she has done for me. She even trusts me to be in her house when she's not there, Ray. She's like a mother to me. I love her dearly, Lisa. She's very nice. I really like her. I've never met anyone who dislikes her, Kim. And Mary, I appreciate and love you for our 2 years of off and on dating and our 51 years of marriage and mating. Through living in a trailer, a basement apartment, graduate school, medical verification, your heart is safe for childbirth of our sons. Our teamwork at raising them, our careers and education, our caring and sharing of our faith, hope, love, service, and ministry work, and your ability to forgive me when I've been a jerk. In times when you seek forgiveness when you're at your worst, and damning me with an angry verbal burst, together we've shared the hiss of infernal grief, and will continue to share in the bliss of eternal love and relief. Your husband, Larry Jacob Man. It's a stretch.
That's cute. And I totally agree with you that we
Kind of
do,
hip-hop.
we do need to be giving the accolades while people can still appreciate them, not afterwards.
We've made it a practice, so this is putting to practice what we believe.
Just an editorial
Yes,
point.
please. That's what I bring it to.
Third line up from the bottom, the word damning in this sense should be D-A-M-N-I-N-G.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's a little
Otherwise,
typo.
she may be giving you constipation or something.
Where are you talking about?
The third line up from the bottom.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a comment,
Yes.
and that is, this not about yours, Larry, but just in general about the group and how it's impacting me. I really have been listening for rhymes out in the public domain, and I am challenged. That's not been a natural thing for me, so it has been a stretch for one. But I've been working at doing rhyming, and I also have been listening to music and the songs and a lot of rhymes. And so I thought, I don't know when, I'm not making a promise, but I want to write a song. And I'm conscious of I will need to use rhymes to write the song to accomplish my goal. So someday I will be presenting a song to the group.
There's
And you're
moon,
gonna
June, spoon.
Yeah.
Rappers.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yes,
All
yes,
rhyme.
and it always
Yeah.
amazes
And
me
it-
to see that.
Musical, and they talk it, they have music in the background, but mostly it's poems.
Yeah.
And you play an instrument so you can back yourself up?
No, a cappella.
Oh,
Yeah. But I did want to respond. I'm amazed at the people that can sit down Tuesday morning and just write off a poem. It takes me a long time to present a poem, so that's why the comment in the email. It's an appreciation of the talent within this group, the
How
ability.
many people can do that?
Right.
A few.
Not me, I have to, just like I'll be
Yeah.
6 or 7 hours in my wretched pajamas. I'm like, I don't need or anything, I'm
That
just
sounds like a
warm.
poem. 6 hours in my wretched pajamas.
Yeah, but I don't even know it.
I have to sleep on
Maybe I should
it.
get
Sleep on it
new
and come back and go, well, who wrote that? Whoops. I did.
Ted Cruz
I like
one
to do
time,
that too.
some well-known poet who writes a poem every day.
Wow.
And someone said, how can you do that? I can't, I'm just not happy with, and he said, lower your standards.
I can't imagine wanting to do it every day.
Well, if you're a poet like
I think the important thing is to just write. You've got.
yeah, I think that and you write these things.
And be
They
self-criticizing.
think they're, well, this is wretched, but often there's a kernel in there that
Yeah,
you can
right.
you can work off that thought or that particular combination of words or things like that. That I think most of my poems come from, I hear a phrase in my head, or someone may say it, or it just all at once it's there, and then I work from it. I've got a poem that's 4 pages long. It came from 2 lines that just popped into my head. They came unto the 9th month, and resentment was the child of their marriage, and bitterness filled the cradles of their hearts. And
That's sad.
yeah, well, it was true.
I just think there's a point where you have to hold your nose and just drop it
Oh, yeah.
and let it go.
You use the
Not gonna
editor's
be
pencil.
perfect.
but it's very
I worked 3 days on one on evolution, and I still haven't gotten it.
Just won't evolve for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.